Hey, everybody. Welcome to Immortals Inc. podcast. I have Mike on the mic again.
Mike on the mic.
And
What's up?
Again, I found somebody who knew something about a game I want to talk about today. Return to Dark Tower.
Dun dun.
Tim.
Slim Tim.
Slim Tim.
You might have seen.
I do have other videos, but I was way larger.
That was his clone, though.
He's more fluffy.
He was recently cloned by the cloning committee.
This is defluffed Tim.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're going to talk about. That's probably not a medical term, is it?
It's not.
So then we're gonna talk about Return to Dark Tower, fantasy role playing game.
Man, I love the board game.
Why don't you tell us about the board game? Walk us through the board game before I go
Board game.
talk
It
about
was
this.
like a very cutting edge at this time.
This
Came
thing.
out in the early 80s, maybe late 70s.
Man, who was born
like
then?
every-
It was a
Everything
big
else.
box. It was a big deal. And even then, it was like, I don't even know why I got it. I mean, my parents decided to give it to me. It's like, this is well beyond me, man. I was like, at the time, 7 years old. But the coolest thing was the Dark Tower itself. I mean, the thing moved, it made noises, it lit up, and tells you how much gold you have, how many fighters you got to deal with. If you're running low on food and stuff like that. Had no concept of the game. And you flash forward about, 15 years later. I mean, Dark Tower has become a big, big thing. I mean,
15?
for collectors.
15 years.
Come on, Carlos, don't make me older than I already am. All right, 25 years.
It's like
25
30 years, man.
So going to Origins, like in the
like 35.
late 90s, like this game was going for about $300 easy.
Oh, yeah. eBay, yeah.
And then you'll probably have like, oh, the tower doesn't work or it doesn't spin or anything like that because it was electronic. This wasn't like on your phone or anything like that. It would just spin around, light up and everything out.
Yeah,
Sometimes the lights go out.
It's pre-EMP.
Yeah, very much so.
You could play
Very-
this.
very
you could play
much
this
so.
after a nuclear blast. That's
And
about
then,
the time frame.
being parents and stuff like that, you don't take the batteries out, and then you got to deal with rust, corrosion, and everything else like that.
Explode.
I mean, getting a copy and being restored, it was like a lot of money. I mean, at the time, I think it was at the auction for a couple copies, and they were beat up. But as long as the tower worked, man, they were fetching $300, $400, $500, depending on how beat up the box was.
I want one, but I can't find one that is decent.
Yeah, right.
Like it's hard to like the Dungeons and Dragons electronic. That's how it was. These are old electronics.
Right.
And at the cutting edge at the time, you're like, ooh, and then now you're like, oh, this is dumb.
It is. And you play through it, and it was like, man, I went through about it, and it's like, this felt like a long journey, but I guess in Little Kingdom, I mean, it's like 45 minutes, maybe max for the game.
Yeah, but you're a kid and it was fun.
It was amazing.
So then fast forward to now with 9th level games, Return to Dark Tower, the fantasy role play. Now. Beautiful book. We'll start with the positives.
It's a gorgeous book. Even before this came out, they did restoration. Hence why I called restoration. And restoration games did come out with a board game.
Yes.
That's I believe it is app integrated, and you need a tablet to do so. And the tower's been all updated and lights up and cool stuff happens.
Oh, it's like the Lord of the Rings board game.
Yeah, kind of like that. I mean, this is the closest thing you're going to get to Sauron's tower that interacts with you. But yeah, that came out first, and then due to the hype and stuff like that, how about we make an RPG?
Okay, listen. I am not an RPG expert, nor am I a writer,
Nor am I.
and I'm not.
You're a player.
I'm a player. I am a GM.
Founding, my grandma would like to hear that. You're a player.
There's a difference between player and play up.
Oh, yeah, right.
All right.
I was going to have to cut that out.
So yeah, oh boy. So it is to read this. I think you have to. They have a fundamental knowledge, or not fundamental. I think they believe that you have a working or complete knowledge of the board game.
Yes, one.
Okay,
that is correct.
Because the whole book is set up as if you're reading board game instructions. I mean, it's pretty big. It's a
right
whole
from the
lot,
go. I
yeah.
had a problem with the font size. I mean,
And then it doesn't go any deeper than what the board game gives you.
right.
So there's that issue. It's not like a deep role-playing game. And I guarantee this was geared more towards the board game fanatics, or the people who enjoy the board game.
Or kids. It feels like it was almost a dummy down version of Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, well, here's the other thing. I'm sure whoever wrote this, it was giving me a hard time to read. Only because the way they spoke, it was very. How do I say this without making myself sound dumb? But I am dumb.
I didn't say it.
It was written. It was written above me. You know, like the words they use, the way they configured them.
It was just intellectually advanced.
Yes, like somebody who's really smart wrote it, and like when you
where
write,
you're just trying. Like the point is to write in layman's terms. But
yes,
like they
thank
didn't.
you. That's a nice way to say it. It was not in layman's terms.
Okay.
And it was very. I had to like reread it, and then they would reference stuff as if you knew it, but it's farther down in the book.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like chapter 1. In chapter 10, there's a description of combat. Here's how it works. Okay, well, do I go to chapter 10 and read combat? Because I feel if I go there, I'm going to miss, and it was like kind of
just jumping everywhere.
Yes. And the character sheet was very complicated, and the flow chart and everything. Like I said, it's a board game. I'm like, it's like almost like a board game they're trying to interject role playing into. And if that's what you like,
I've seen other games that are successful doing that.
Yeah, so it's like I would like, and in my in their defense, I would like to see it played. Like I could sit down with it and play it and be like, oh, it makes complete sense. It might be one of those things, But so I don't want to rag on it. If you like Dark Tower, yeah, pick it up. It's a lot of history
if you're a
back to
Dark
it.
Tower fan, yeah, absolutely.
What I do like is the things I did like, what I take away from is the classes. They were set, they're based on the board game, obviously the classes, but each class had a different dice. So like if you were like the magic user, the wizard, or spellcaster or whatnot, you would get a D4, and that's what you used to cast your spells and do everything else. So if you were a spellcaster, you succeeded on a 2-3 if you try to use spells. So that's going to come up half the time. So that's why it's important. If you're a fighter, you might use a D10 or D8. But you would only succeed on a 3 or 4. So you're more likely to fail. See, and I like that, the way that dice, I've seen that in other systems, but this is the polymorphs, powered by polymorph. So I like that. I'm like, okay, that's a cool idea to simplify how your character class works. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, I can just, hey, that's the dice you use. When you want to cast a spell, roll it. If you get a 2 or 3, you succeed. Oh, well, that's half the time. If you're a fighter, you're going to swing at something, you'll succeed at a 2 through 6. Oh, well, that's most of the time. So, okay. It makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So
have you had anything like a fumble or anything like that? Like in D&D days, or you have crits?
Yeah, they do have, I don't remember. There was something about a 1 or a failure or something like that. I can't remember. I'm sorry. I read this a little bit ago. And I also liked they used the whole map from the Dark Tower. Remember, it was like a big world map. They use that to say there's different regions, and if you wanted to fight, you had like your main character, then you had some like assistants, or I'm terrible with words, but they had people that would help you. You could play those characters or the main guy, and then you could go out. Hey, this guy's going to go try and conquer this land, and then there would be a fight. It doesn't mean you role play it out either. It could be just like you're going to roll one dice, and then you kind of tell the story of like either fail or success. Does that make any sense?
Similar like D&D of old, where they had battle system where you can do those mass army groups and push out. And like a couple quick rolls of the dice, and
they kind of make up the story as you go and stuff like that. So yeah. So I did like that. There's some good stuff in here, and I could be not understanding it because I don't have an intimate knowledge of the board game. So I could be lost on that. The book itself,
I think they're trying too hard, and they was like, we're going to infuse an RPG into this board game, which is a wonderful system itself, but I think they tried too much and they forced it.
Yeah, I kind of got that impression.
That's how I felt. I heard you guys did a couple run-throughs of this.
This?
Yeah.
I didn't do any of this.
Didn't do any of it?
No.
Huh.
Somebody's lying to you.
Really?
I actually don't know. It could have happened.
Oh, I'm not gonna lie. That's what I'm saying. I in their defense, I haven't played it like as a player, so I like have somebody that knows how to play this show me or come on in, and I'll be like,
somebody
okay.
asked me about it like a week ago.
Did they?
Yeah. And I was
Really?
like, wow, I remember I deleted the initial video we did.
Oh,
which is a
yeah.
fun
We did an
fact.
initial video.
We did do a video on this already, and I deleted
Oh,
it.
that wasn't with me.
No.
Oh,
Who
yeah.
was it with?
I was actually going to
Just me.
CGI you into that chair.
Just you?
It was just me
Just
because I
you.
just read it. And I'm like, okay, I got all this good, fresh knowledge. And, of course, he deleted it because, I don't know. He was high on root beer or something. I don't know.
And I was actually going to CGI you in the video.
I probably
then-
look terrible.
The budget allocation, because you changed so drastically, like in
Yeah.
the cloning form, it was your
Yeah.
clone.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't have worked. Or usage rights.
We're going to get tagged for calling him a clone. So then, the polymorph system, I guess, is popular too. The Mazes fantasy role-playing game. Did you ever hear that? So,
I have.
I have not. So I don't know much about it, so I don't want to talk about it. Unless you
That's
know
about
much.
as far as I got. I have some familiarity with it, but me playing it, no.
All right.
No.
And I feel bad about it because it's a beautiful book. It took in all the history.
Really
of the
nice
game.
cover.
It does. There's a lot of work into this, and I'm sure.
A problem from the get-go, the font size right now. I felt like they had X amount of pages they got to fill out, and they blew up the font to like 22, 24. Really, really large, and we got to fill it out. I mean, that's what it is. I think I would polish this book off in an evening easily.
And I don't know if it's just me. I don't like the yellow in the book page. Like the color of the yellow. Like I think they could have just switched
The back pages.
Oh, I
the
think that's a
background.
throwback from the 80s.
Really?
Yeah,
Because the
that's-
board
that's-
game was
I
exactly
wouldn't
like
know.
that.
Yeah.
Where you had different regions when you're playing
Okay.
the board game.
Then I
and it
respect
was
that.
like, ooh, this one's burnt umber, but this one's sans serif.
Okay.
Yeah, this
It's
is how
like,
like a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of 80s.
Yeah,
this is
that's
how
the way it
80s
looks
board
like.
All
game,
right,
yeah.
I respect that then.
Brought-
Yeah,
brought-
that-
you know,
that
because
was a-
I think they
I
were
think
trying to
that was
make
a
it look
throwback.
parchment, like old parchment was
Yeah.
that color. So, but like it is it is a beautiful book. I just want somebody to play it and show me so I could see the whole thing.
I think we should do that. Maybe we'll do a live playthrough.
Oh, here, Tim. This is my copy.
Live recorded playthrough.
Oh Lord, here, Tim.
and
This
we'll
is
throw it up.
this is my copy.
Okay.
Take it, read it,
I got homework to do.
figure it out. We have these available, and I'm not ragging on it if you like it. Go ahead, play whatever you like.
Yeah, you even said Dark Tower enjoyers will enjoy this.
Yeah, they will enjoy.
Oh,
this.
they will.
Yeah,
They will. I mean,
we have
even-
copies.
I mean, look at this, and even the layout of like the board is what you're actually looking at. So that's cool.
Yeah, this is like, again, my opinion or how I read it. I could be completely wrong, but I'm just telling you, argue with me. No, don't argue with me, but tell me I'm wrong.
Come at
or-
me.
Come at me, bro. But listen, just
Flame on.
yeah. Give me what you think. I don't.
Yeah, let us know what you think in the
somebody
comments.
Put work into it, and it looks good. And this is how it is at the store too. They came in this.
Isn't that like what Pelgrane
That
does?
is environmentally friendly packaging.
Sustainable. Yeah, sustainability. Yeah, sustainability.
Came in a big box of peanuts. It's not that.
That could have been from your distributor.
And you didn't leave the
Not
peanuts.
I'm gonna knock these guys. We kind of bashed them. We already bashed 9th level hard enough, and I say that could not be them.
No, then we have the. This is like a DM screen with a bunch of little add-ons, and then there's like a deluxe dice tower with some dice and everything in it. So we all have this. So
All right.
How much is the core book? Like
core
yeah,
book's $49.99.
Yeah, by reading it, yeah, it's $50.
I'll put it in the description. Just
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah,
for-
link in here. It's here. Like I said, it's here. Like what you like. That's just my opinion. Again, I hate
Yeah.
talking.
Just to
That's why I don't like talking. I hate talking badly about anything because somebody put work into it.
oh yeah. Plus we only have 15 minutes per podcast. We usually fit
I
it all
know.
into one thing. So like,
Yeah. And I'm just being honest. So
Honestly, you're not going to run like a level 1 character. I don't think this time here. This, to me, feels like a one-shot.
okay.
It really does.
Well, read it.
because I'm gonna read this because I'm already looking at the monster list, and it's only maybe about 20 pages. And it's like they don't have a lot of monsters. So
Yeah. So just read it. Give me a thought. See what you say. Because I don't know. That's just me. If you like what you see, or you don't like what you see,
you could let us know.
yeah, let us know. And then
Be friendly at least.
give us a like, give us a join, give us a subscribe. And if you really like us, join it.
Joining only on desktop, as Tim said our last video. It's unfortunate. YouTube, you should probably fix it.
can't do it on the phone.
You should probably fix it, YouTube.
Should at least in the app. But
Yeah,
it does
but we
not.
appreciate any and all
Yet.
support. And thank you for coming in today, Tim. And see you guys next
Anytime.
time.